theme going on at your place then.
Yeah. I mean, that's within theme for us.
What was a couple of weeks ago? You were talking about Raymond's weather. What was going on there? You had tornadoes or something, Ray?
It was a tropical storm that was headed our way, but it just got a little breezy. We're quite used to it living where we do, so we keep an eye on it.
If that happened here, the whole world would just fall apart. Anything more than a few leaves on the train tracks and everything stops.
Don't say leaves on the train tracks. My heart can't take it. I mean, I'm getting palpitations here.
We now know that Steve is a commuter who travels by train to work.
No, lies. No, I'm not.
How did your DMing go then?
So yeah, I wanted to play like a short little one shot, just like maybe 4 hours, 5 if it ran over. Turned into just over 7 hours, but it was fun.
That's a lot, especially for sort of your first DMing session as well, because it can get exhausting sort of mentally, can't it?
Yeah, I forgot that as a DM, you've got this fantastic tool called railroading, and I should have just continually just slammed away using that.
Good old railroading. I suppose because Lost Mine is sort of pre-written, it kind of lends itself naturally to railroading, but it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I won't say anything else, but yeah, railroading it's always there at the back of my mind, is sort of trying to balance how, hey, there's Iris, sort of balancing how much is railroading and how much is letting the story. And we have Morpheus in the background doing his best Donkey Kong impression. That was wonderful.
That's his favorite club dance. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
He's this year's answer to John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
All right.
So, I'm sorry, hang on. Was that an attempt at a Scottish accent there?
All right there, laddie. Let's get going.
Oh no.
Okay, so Harold will be rolling entirely at disadvantage tonight.
I was going to ask what the opposite of an inspiration was.
Yeah, no, that's just me. That's rolling at disadvantage, and I'm going to set the DC for every roll at 35. So, yeah, you're fucked, man.
Oh, you think that's going to stop me? You're wrong, lad. You're wrong.
I live with this, so...
I'm so sorry.
Brill, I love that you're just over there just... I close my eyes. It's exactly like Billy Colony. Colony. I can't even say the word.
Connor.
Is that what you think there, lad?
Yeah, that one.
There's Billy Connolly did a routine years ago called the Crucifixion, where he basically retells the story of the Easter story, but sets it in Glasgow. So everything is. I mean, he's Glaswegian anyway, but he uses Glaswegian slang for the whole story. And I, when I was playing it to one of my girlfriends who is English, it's a 15-minute routine, and I had to translate probably about 14 minutes and 30 seconds of it. It is, if you're not Scottish and if you're not from that area of Glasgow, it's fairly incomprehensible. But if you get a chance, I think it was on Spotify at one point, but it'll be on YouTube as well. So at some point, if you get a chance, each of you this week, listen to Billy Connolly, The Crucifixion, and see how much of it you can follow. That's my challenge.
You're saying is we should actually have a group watch party so we can pause and go, okay, Paul.
Yeah, that would work as well.
Fuck. is that?
That would work as well. And then yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? They say like analyzing comedy is like dissecting a frog because it's not much fun for anyone, and the frog's dead by the end.
So which one of us is the frog? Oh wait, it's the joke.
I didn't get that. Could you explain that? What?
So I can't work out if you're being serious or not.
Well, if
I
we
hate
have
you,
to
Steve.
explain it, it's like dissecting a frog.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
Steve,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
Steve,
enable me.
Yeah, oh my god. We are 7 minutes in, and already Steve is making my head hurt.
That's what Steve does. Also, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm on the laptop. I'm using my big boy technology now.
It's a beautiful sight to behold. I shifted my room round. Someone left. We have sort of a communal area in the apartment block where people can put things that they don't want anymore, and other people can take them. So, it's kind of to reduce wastage. So people have left sort of sets of crockery. This IKEA unit was left there, which is like an £80 unit, and someone was moving out and they just left it there. The BB-8, someone left that there.
What?
So yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, it's crazy. So I thought I'll get that unit while it's going, and then I'll sort of rearrange my room a bit. So I've now oh, there we go. Everyone's got a BB-8. You get a BB-8, and you get a BB-8, and you get a BB-8.
Let me just check under my seat to see if I've got one. Oh, damn it.
So yes, I've sort of rearranged my my spare room to kind of try and incorporate things. So if you see me looking around a bit more than usual, it's because I'm still not sure where I've put each of your notice boards with my various notes that I have for each of you. Is everyone ready to begin? Is Serenity back, or do we need to hang on for Iris? Hey, there we go. Okay. So, does someone want to recap last time? Let's see who was paying attention.
We got out.
Oh, I was going to say
Yeah.
that bit.
Brill almost didn't get out.
I adopted a child.
Yes,
Goblin.
Serenity is now the proud owner of Droop the Goblin.
I do see him on the page.
Well, yes, he's officially part of the party now until something happens to him.
Don't say hurtful things like that.
You remember the last guy that was part of our party?
Oh no.
No,
Kev.
a real short amount of time there, so never had a chance to commit him to a brain wrinkle.
Oh, no, well, he was an official member.
Don't
Well,
make this any more awkward than it needs to be, Steve.
We'll see what happens, but who knows? But for now, Droop is under the care of the party. So yeah, you finished clearing out Tressender Manor and left the Nothic in place in his crevasse under the manor.
Just living his best life, not offending anybody.
Just living his best life. It will be interesting to see what happens when he runs out of corpses to feed on. But
We will all give Serenity a long look.
I mean, if we get a bag of holding 4 corpses, the way this party is going, we're going to have plenty of corpses to give him.
Most parties, if they get a bag of holding, they use it for treasure, riches. No. Iris wants to use it for corpses.
Maybe
Essentially-
if we make her a bag of portals, where just any body you throw in the bag is just instantly portal to the crevasse.
Let me
That's
just
like
make a
green
note.
friendly too.
We can do that?
We're
Let me just make a note.
Just recycle, reuse. Drop those corpses in there. Feed a friend.
okay. If
Because
this is the way we're going, I'm re-rolling as a civic-minded necromancer.
Civic mind. What exactly is a civic-minded necromancer?
Hey, come on, there's jobs nobody wants to do, so your dead relatives should do them for us.
I'm now slightly worried about Morpheus. I'm not going to
Hey,
lie.
good aligned necromancers who believe in the concept of hard labor once you're dead, so everyone else can live a cushy life, is a fantastic idea.
Recycle, reuse, revive.
This is hey, hi.
Puppies!
Everybody saying hi. Wave to him.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, we've got the grands over again.
Aww.
That's fine. A young player in the making. We'll give him access to Droop. It'll be fine.
Yes.
That's perfect.
So, as we left last time, you had just left the manor, just headed back into the forest, and I think we would probably the best place to pick it up is as you head back into the village proper, and you enter the main sort of square area where you see Sildar Hallwinter in conversation with a halfling woman. Sildar looks over at the party and sees a goblin walking along with you, and a hand reaches to his sword belt. Wow, we've got more!
They're like multiplying. They're like splitting into little carbon copies.
Yes.
I looked away at the map, I looked back, and there's more!
Yeah, there's a total of 3 of them, but the other one's entirely too young to be manhandled.
So, Sildar looks at the party, looks at the goblin, hand on the hilt of his sword, says, "This was an unexpected result."
Serenity, would you like to explain the situation a little bit?
This is Droop.
More?
He's a goblin.
Keep going.
He was in the lair under the ground, and so we brought him here with us because he was being mistreated, and he's gonna hang out with us.
And Droop, at this stage, kind of obviously reading the room and reckoning that he's not going to get a great reception from most people, sort of hides behind Serenity's legs and peeks out and sort of looks at Sildar and says, "Hello! I'm Droop! I'm nice! Please don't hurt Droop!" And Sildar, kind of almost like something in his brain isn't accepting that he's having a conversation with a goblin like this, so just turns back to the party and says, "So what happened in the manor? Did you find anything about any information about my friend Yarnell?"
Oh boy, that's a whole bunch of information to unpack. You want to deal with these 3 red brands first, and then we'll have a sit down and talk about your friend.
Aye, that might be a good idea. And he shouts over his shoulder and shouts, "Harbin! Harbin, get out here! And Harbin Wester, the townmaster, comes scurrying from his hall and comes running up and says, "Hello, what do you want, Sildar? I'm busy." And Sildar says, "We've got another little collection of prisoners for you." And Harbin looks at him and says, "Well, I've no room. My cell in the hall is full. What am I supposed to do? At the moment, supply is outstripping demand. Why do you keep giving me all these prisoners?" And he's actually looking very pissed off and looking at the party.
It's called How You Dissuade Further Crime, in case you've forgotten or never picked up that trait.
Can you roll an intimidation check for me, please, Harrow?
I will happily.
Okay, so with that, he sort of does seem to kind of calm down a bit and realise that actually, yes, you're doing him a favour by kind of clearing all these red brands out. He says, "The problem is, I don't really have anywhere to store them until we can send them off to Neverwinter for processing." I know. Leave them with me. I'll get the smithy to sort something. I'm sure the smithy will have somewhere that he can hang them up
Oh no.
humanely.
Well, currently, the sleeping giant is vacant.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but don't be taken in by the sign outside that says it's closed. I just did that to dissuade people from going in there.
Noted. Thanks for the advice.
You will note it. It is a work of uh a work of art.
Because he's an
A work
artist.
of, a work of art. Wow, that's very impressive. Okay. Come on, you three. And he sort of slaps the closest red brand around the back of the head and says, "I'm going to have a word with your mother in a minute. God help me." And he trudges him off to the sleeping giant. So yeah, it's the party, Droop, Sildar Hallwinter, and the halfling woman who he was in conversation with. And actually, next to the halfling woman is a small halfling boy.
Is this Pip's friend? Carp? Are you
And with
Carp?
that, and Carp, for it is him, and but he has never been spoken to so abruptly by a large, scary tiefling, and kind of stands there shaking, especially seeing how you just intimidated Harbin Wester, as stood there shaking, says, "Yeah, that's right. My name's Carp. Nice to meet you, sir."
Give him an approving nod and be like, "We heard you found a secret way into the Red Brand's hideout. Well done."
"Yeah, thanks, sir. I was quite proud of finding that, if I'm honest. Although it seems you found it as well, so maybe I'm not that unique."
We wouldn't have even known it was there if you hadn't found it first.
And with that, his chest sort of puffs up a bit. And the woman who's with him,
But hang on, there is a massive, great, horrible monster down there, so don't ever think about going in there ever again.
and with this,
Yeah, if
Carp's
we only had dealt
eyes,
with it instead of it eating children.
at the mention of horrible monster, Carp's eyes widen as if he's already thinking of his next adventure. Like, do you mean that? You're not just like pulling my leg. There's actually a monster in that tunnel.
But he eats people. But he eats people. Like, we did not want to face him because he just eats people.
Brill, I think we need to go back and deal with that thing like right now.
So are you saying it's dangerous?
But, like, not in a fun, heroic way, but in a terrible death way. Like, he ate one of our friends already way.
Really? That
No.
sounds awesome.
Uh,
Was there, can I ask you something, missus? Was there lots of blood and gore?
Nope, it was just a quick gulp, and it wasn't a dramatic death. It wasn't a heroic death. It wasn't a glorious death. It was just a lame death, and his name won't even be remembered because of how lame it was. If you go down there, you won't be remembered. Why don't you try to do something more heroic?
A tear falls from Brill's eye.
Yes.
I was expecting you to correct us and be like, Kev, his name was Kev. Don't you ever forget it.
And the halfling woman who's with him looks down at him and says, "All right now, Carp, you've bothered these people long enough. Why don't you go and find Pip and play with Pip?" And Carp sort of looks downtrodden and says, "He's not in town. His dad took him. They've gone somewhere. I don't know where, but they've had to go and do some errands. So I can't do any. I can't play with Pip." She said, "Well, go and clean the house then. Go on. Get back to the farm." And he obviously looks pissed off. What child wants to go and do chores on a farm? But he does. He heads down. He heads away. And as he walks away, he looks back over his shoulder and waves at Serenity, and kind of gives Harrow a bit of a strange look. And then he's gone and is out of sight.
Serenity like sweetly waves to him and then like leans into Harrow and goes, "We are gonna have to take care of Noctis."
Before he goes, could I
Whatever.
cast my cantrip Thaumaturgy?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to do ominous whispers around Carp as he leaves.
Oh, no.
Fucking monster.
Holy shit! Okay, go for
I
it.
want to scare this child.
Okay, what do you want the whispers to say in particular?
I saw you from the tunnel. I will come for you. Don't you forget it. Never come to my domain.
Okay,
Yeah, that's gonna give
and
me
as
nightmares.
he's say that again, sorry, Ray.
I said, hell, that's gonna give me nightmares.
Yeah. Well, as Carp is walking away, he reaches sort of you guys are all up around here. Did I move you onto the right part of the map? Yeah. So right, 2 seconds. So yeah, you're all kind of talking up here. Carp gets down about here, and which is when you cast Thaumaturgy, and you just see him stop for the entire duration of the message. And then he walks, but he walks noticeably slower. And then he's gone and he's out of sight. So you don't know if it's worked, but it was, I mean, yeah, like Ray says, I'm kind of disturbed by just how effed up Braille is.
He's a
Bill's
wonderful
just trying to
pendulum.
protect this child. That's all.
He's a rule by fear tiefling, actually.
Here we all were thinking that Brill was this gentle soul, and actually he's the darkest of us all. Okay, so Sildar turns to the party and says, "Okay, so what happened with the Arnold?"
That was so long ago. Just a minute for me, for myself.
Yarno was leading the Red Brands under a pseudonym, Glassstaff.
Hang on. Say that again. Yarno was Glassstaff.
Sounds like you understood exactly what I said.
Bloody hell.
He's involved
gonna
with
have-
someone called the Spider, the Widow, the Black something or other, and we've got paperwork. Somebody's got paperwork. Brill, do you have the paperwork?
You have the paperwork there.
I don't know.
I unfortunately took really thorough
No,
notes on
I
the
don't.
conversation
Sorry.
with Charlotte. But like nothing else.
Priorities.
The most inconsequential NPC in the history of Dungeons and Dragons. And be honest, how many pages of notes did you make?
It's only one.
I'm so proud of her on one hand, but on the other, bitter disappointment of plot notes being strangely absent.
So, from memory, I think it possibly was Serenity or Brill who took the notes from the desk. We will say one of you has the notes. Someone definitely took notes. They definitely took the notes that were on the desk.
I think it
So-
was Serenity because she went in first.
Okay. So, yeah, the party have in their possession, and I'm sure it wouldn't take long for you, the relevant character to find their notes. And Sildar takes that note from Serenity and reads it and says, "The Black Spider. I've never heard of the Black Spider. I don't know who that is. Right. Can I keep this? Or is that okay if I keep this?
Yeah, you can keep it.
Okay, thank you. And he says, right, I guess I will be writing a rather comprehensive letter to the Lord's Alliance. They're not going to be happy. And he starts to walk away and... Go on, sorry.
It should be noted, Sildar, Yarno did get away.
You think he was there?
Yes. There was a secret door in the back of his room. I'm sure us having to fight with a carpet might have alerted him.
And a crafty mouse.
Oh yeah, does he know any spells?
Well, he's
The
a
mouse?
wizard. I assumed he was talking about Yarno, but perhaps he were talking... I've never met the mouse. I don't know. I can't speak for the mouse's magical abilities.
Only Brill saw it, so I'm skeptical whether or not the mouse existed.
Oh dear, yeah.
The mouse is just an indication of Brill's
Madness.
ever increasing
Fractioning
madness.
psyche.
Yeah. But Sildar says, well, yes, Yarno was a wizard. He has magical abilities, so I assume he possibly was able to use magic. It's possible that if he had a mouse or a rat, perhaps, it's possible that it would be maybe his familiar. But I'm just guessing. He never used a familiar when he was in my presence before. That much I can tell you. But still, a deal's a deal. And he reaches into a pouch in his belt and he hands over 200 gold pieces, which was his pre-agreed reward for finding out what happened to him, to Yarno. It would have been better if I actually had him here, so that he could clearly face justice if he truly is Glassstaff. But a deal's a deal. You can have the reward we agreed upon. And hands over 200 gold pieces. So what's your next steps then? What's the plan?
Goblin hunting.
Well, we're hunting after miscreants. Can't just say goblin hunting with Droop here.
Look at Droop. Look at Brill. Look at Sildar. Goblin hunting.
Serenity like pats Droop's head with a big blue hand. Okay, buddy.
You just hear
Why are we coddling
Droop.
him? He's the one who suggested it.
I know, but when you put it that way, it's like us being like, let's go get this bad guy. And then, like, Ochi specifically being like, I'm going to go hunt some tieflings. And we're like, whoa! Like, it sounds really targeted.
Let's be clear. If Ochi said, let's go kill some tieflings, and they were tieflings we needed to kill, I wouldn't exactly take umbrage to it.
I wouldn't
It's
say
just the
anything like that.
phrasing.
Yeah,
And
I
he has
suppose.
more class than I do.
I'll accept that. Moving on.
And Sildar says, "Okay, goblin hunting. What's the plan? Just a bit of light recreational goblin hunting?"
Is there big game goblin hunting?
I believe that's called hobgoblin hunting.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, we do have plans to run the Tribor Trail to the east. No, yes, to the east. In hopes of finding goblins, orcs, a banshee, and undead.
Yep.
Woo.
Wow, that's quite an itinerary you've got going on there.
Maybe if we're lucky, we'll catch Yarno on the run.
Well, that's a possibility.
We're gonna pass him on the side of the road.
Bless
We
you.
technically don't know what he looks like. He could just be hitchhiking.
Or a mouse.
Or a mouse. But we're suspicious of mice, at least.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're not all living in a fantasy world where mice and rats are abundant in cities and countryside.
Brill, the rat catcher of Neverwinter.
The rat
Look.
whisperer.
Look, no, right. We're not capturing rats. We can whisper to them. They've got their own thing in the cycle of life that I was told about. You're not supposed to go and kill all of them.
Fair.
I think. I'm not sure, but I think.
Well, let's take the rest of this correspondence to Halia. Unless you'd like to look over it first, Sildar.
I think really I have the key bits here. The letter from the Black Spider. That will be enough for me to inform the Lord's Alliance of Yarno's activities, and they'll be able to take it from there. I don't think I introduced you to my friend, did I? He gestures to the halfling who's still here and says, "This is Kayleen Alderleaf. She runs the Alderleaf farm." And she smiles at you all and says, "Hello there. Nice to meet you. How are you? You've been busy since you came into town, haven't you?"
That we have.
"So what brought you here in the first place?"
Art.
Yes, that's what it was. I had to think.
"Oh,
Brill,
that's
you want to
right.
explain what we're doing here?
So if you go to the, what was it called, the Giant's Toe Inn, you will see one of my works there. I am an up-and-coming artist, straight out of Neverwinter, and I'm looking for new venues and locations to spread my artworks.
And we're his groupies.
I prefer the term entourage, but Yeah, that it works.
All right. I don't really know what to make of that, if I'm quite honest. I tell you,
Well,
though, if you want to know of good places to hold exhibitions, there's someone you want to talk to. You need to go into Neverwinter Forest, and you need to find Rydoth, the druid.
Hey,
Brill.
druids.
Brill, you know the name Rydoth.
Oh.
Rydoth,
okay.
although not a member of your druidic circle, is a close friend, colleague, I suppose you could say, a close acquaintance of your druidic circle. So, although you've never met him personally, you have been aware of him in conversations previously.
Oh yes, of course. Rydoth. Why didn't I think of going to see them? Foolish me. You know how it is in the artistic circles. So many names, so many faces.
Right, if you say so. Yeah, do you know where to find him then?
Well, not these days. You know how he can be. If you could just give me a few point directions, I'm sure I'll be able to pick up his trail, so to speak.
Alright, are you sure you know him? You don't sound very convincing, I've got to be honest.
Yes, I do.
Alright, well, he's, last I heard, he's up in Thunder Tree, doing some work up there. And Thunder Tree, you would all remember, was mentioned by I can't remember her name, the woodworker's wife who was captive under the manor. She told you about Thunder Tree, that her family once had an alchemist shop there, and there is some treasure still, or she believes there's still some treasure there. And she explained to you that it is up to the east of Neverwinter. Let's just
Myrna.
Yes, of course. Yes, Thunder Tree. Ha! Well, when I used to know right off back in the day, there was still a little alchemist shop there, but I've heard there isn't one these days anymore.
Oh well, no, the whole village is abandoned now. Not sure why, if I'm honest, but I think it's something to do with why Rydoth's gone there, possibly. But yeah, that's who you want to speak to if you want to know anything about the area, like any good locations, anywhere that's good for an art exhibition, an open air exhibition, anything like that. Rydoth's your man. Anyway, I've got to go get on with some work. I know that Cart won't have done any of the chores I told him to do. And she heads off. It was nice meeting you all. Bye, Mr. Goblin. And she gives Droop a friendly little wave. And she heads off in the same direction that Carp did as well. So now it is just the party and Sildar.
Okay, but probably our first order should be to go find Gundren.
Well, that's why we're trying to track down goblins.
In Neverwinter Forest?
So, just quick
Along the
recap.
Tribor Trail to the east, yes.
So one of the reasons that you were trying to find goblins, just because it's been a while since the last session, was that you were hoping to find goblins who would be able to give you the location of Cragmaw Castle, which is where you believe Gundren is. So that's why you're trying to find goblins.
And if they're raiding, it would be most practical to think that they would probably raid roads and trails.
Well,
We're killing many birds with a handful of stones.
That's clever.
Do we need to offload all of our stuff and resupply anything. I don't know if they sell health potions here. We might want to stock up on those.
Well, why don't we drop off all this paperwork to Halia, get our payments promised there, and then maybe, I don't know, did we take... We have a bunch of weapons here now.
Yes.
Drop them off at the smithy and see what's what?
Sounds prudent.
Also, who has that really nice longsword?
I believe that is Serenity. She was the one that went under the bridge, I think, into the crevasse.
Yep, it's right here. On my sheet. Oh, is it fine if I use it?
I don't... Do I look like a longsword kind of guy?
Right.
We could maybe, I don't know, tie it to Ochi's staff.
That could be really cool, though.
I mean, the two paladins can use long swords, no?
Yeah, bro, do you want to use it?
It's a bit too heavy for me.
He seems to prefer the whip.
Nice. Alright, well, I'll use it then.
Right.
Twist my arm.
Let's drop off the rest of the smithy. Let's go to Halia, then go to the smithy, and then maybe, I don't know, a little bit of a rest. We all look a little worse for wear.
Oh man, I sure would love to sleep.
And then in the morning, we head out on the Triboard Trail. Yeah, good.
Yep.
Bro.
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about something. Yeah. Let's do that.
So, just quick housekeeping. Iris, do you need me to add the longsword into your character sheet, or have you got it already?
I was gonna poke around and try not to break something while trying to figure it out, but if you want to add it, I would be super
I
down.
should be able to just drag and drop.
Actually, after our last session, I dropped a light crossbow onto my character, and I don't know how to take it out anymore.
Okay, I will also sort that. I'll possibly sort that in the break. But let me just.
I thought Roll20 would tell me that I couldn't use a light crossbow because I'm a monk, but no, it's in there in my inventory, and I'm like, all right, now how do I get rid of this?
Sure. Surrender. Just since I've had drag and drop, so I will hit it sort forth, which is a good word which is not often used. I will get it added in the break, and I will get your light crossbow moved, Ochi. Okay, so where to now? Halia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you enter the Bandolin Miner Exchange, and as always, Halia is behind the desk, and she sees you coming in and says, "Oh, hello. It feels like only 10 minutes since we last spoke. What can I do for you?"
We brought you back your paperwork you wanted.
Ah, I see. Thank you. And she just holds out a hand, doesn't move towards you or anything, just holds out a hand.
Kind of palm up, offer out a hand to indicate that a deal and trade was to be made.
Ah, I see. I'm not dealing with the usual country bumpkins. Just to confirm though, I seem to remember our deal was that Glassstaff would be eliminated. Do you have any proof of this?
He's been eliminated from the area.
I see. So he's not actually eliminated in the traditional sense of the word.
Well, it's all
Do
really up
define what
to
eliminated
artistic
means.
interpretation, as far as I'm concerned, on that sort of thing. I mean, the regular rules of tradition, and in this day and age, we shouldn't bind ourselves to them, and we should think a bit more outside the box and a bit more in the moment, I'd say. And in the moment, he's definitely been eliminated.
Right. If we're
Brill,
arguing semantics, he's been taken care of, which was your verbiage. But if you would like to renegotiate, that's fine.
Yeah,
So
if you'd like
we
us to
both-
murder him, do please inform us of such.
So just to be clear, in the moment, he has been both taken care of and eliminated.
Brill, can you roll a persuasion check with advantage, please?
Oh, okay.
That's so good.
Okay. So she raises an eyebrow, withdraws the outstretched palm, reaches under the counter,
Oh no.
pulls out a pouch. I love fucking with you guys. Pulls out a pouch and drops it into Harrow's outstretched hand and takes the paperwork. And this is everything, yes? This was all the correspondence you could find.
Correct.
Roll a deception check, please.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Okay. So she said, very well. I believe our business is concluded. And she, just to confirm, in that pouch is 100 gold pieces. And with that, she takes the paperwork and walks through to the back office and just leaves you standing.
I'm gonna wait for just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Mill around, look at stuff. Make a
So-
racket that indicates still there.
Okay. So looking around, you see various cabinets which hold a lot of sheets of paper. I mean, this is where people come to sort of stake their claim to various finds in the area.
Oh, that's worth looking
Nothing.
through.
Nothing nothing particularly interesting. I mean, you look through, there's names, you know, sort of geographic locations, some values written down, sort of notes of kind of preliminary findings in each of those areas. Nothing that seems interesting.
So no one's staked any claim to a castle nearby, by any chance.
Roll an investigation check.
Which one of us?
Either one of you can do it with advantage, or both of you can do them separately.
Do it, Brill. Do it.
Okay, so you, after a minute of sort of looking at these various boxes of records, you realize that they seem to be labeled for different geographic areas. And you find the one for Fandolin, and you have a quick look through, and you can't see anything relating to the Tressender Manor. Roll, Brill, can you just roll a general intelligence check for me?
Oh no.
Okay, so you're not entirely sure, but given that this is a miners' exchange, you're not entirely sure that there would be records for a mansion in here. This isn't sort of like the town records. This is more for the surrounding area for people staking a claim to mining. So you couldn't find anything for the manor, but it would sort of make sense that you expect to.
Oh, jeez, this is all so boring. 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 I'm
And,
done.
and after about 10 minutes, Halia steps back out, still looking through these letters, this correspondence, and looks up and sees you there and says, I'm sorry, was there something else you needed?
Yeah. Is there a way we could find out why she wanted these documents? Did we ever go over that?
You didn't. Roll an insight check for me, Ochi. Okay. So
Boom.
you are pretty sure she's not telling you everything, but you don't know specifics. But you get the feeling that her feigned nonchalance about this information is probably a cover for something.
Can anybody?
And yes, you. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna see if anybody had a high charisma and maybe be able to get that information from her.
I mean, that's something you'd probably have to kind of try and communicate somehow first in there. Another character is not going to sort of magically know to.
There's
To
the
try and
huddle.
charm.
The huddle has to occur.
The entirely subtle huddle, given that she's already back out here.
Oh, no,
Don't
it's
mind
the
us.
lack of subtlety that
Sometimes
makes
we
it
like to
work.
press our faces together.
Come here, guys.
It's an adventurous thing. You wouldn't understand.
We get too close, all our horns are going to get tangled up.
Only Ochi can get free.
It feels nice when the horns clack together.
It makes a nice sound too.
I'm so worried about you, Steve.
Okay. Halia, we hate to burden you any further with our presence. Just a couple points that need to be covered, I think.
I'm listening.
I just wanted to make sure. The red brands, for the most part, are broken. Those that remain have been clapped in irons and are going to be shipped out to Neverwinter post haste. And number two, we are going to be taking possession of Tressendar Manor.
I see. Roll a deception check for me. Okay. So she looks at you and she says, first of all, I'm delighted that the Red Brands have been pushed. They're a scourge on the village. Second, I wish you luck in gaining.
What was the last word?
Manor.
I think we missed actually the whole last sentence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She said, I wish you.
I wish you luck in gaining the manor.
I don't think we need luck. I think we just did.
I'll
Well,
make a
that's,
sign. I'll put a sign
Perfect.
up.
A sign. Yes,
Make
a sign.
A sign, yes.
I think possibly you would have to speak to the town master
Which we
or,
already have.
for an acquisition of property in such a
Which
manner.
turns out there's no paperwork for. And no system for. That's why we're letting you know we're taking possession of it. Because we know where the paperwork is in this town. And it's in this room.
The paperwork for mines, mining claims.
Give her
Is in
the
this room.
biggest fucking wink ever. Like, uh-huh.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. And Jeff Bill walks off. He's confused.
He's just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go make a sign.
Go to the Troll's Toe Inn and see my sign. I'm making another one. I'm off.
He means the sleeping giant.
We know that you are the unofficial record keeper of the entire village. Everyone knows it. Everyone's told us it. So we're just letting you know.
And once I've heard from the town master himself, perhaps something more official can be arranged.
All right, sounds good.
Right.
Pleasure to see you all.
Always a pleasure to do business.
And she raises a single sardonic eyebrow.
To the smithy?
To the smithy.
Is a basement a mine? I mean, that's what I was confused about.
Wow, I never thought I would
You're
be
just
getting,
all laughing. I don't know why.
I never thought I'd be getting into the geopolitics of whether a basement classes as a mine or not.
I think it depends on if when you're building the basement you find any sort of rare material.
Oh, okay. But Bill doesn't get it.
So, heading towards the smithy, and as you approach, you hear the usual clanging of metal, the hiss of steam, the roar of fire. Smithy looks up as you approach. I can't remember the voice I used for the smithy. Hi! How are you? What can I do for you now?
Just drop a pile of weapons and spears and crossbows and be like, the holidays have come early.
And he looks at them and puts a hand to his forehead and just says, Gods be blessed. What do you want me to do with this?
Sell them, melt them down,
Whatever you want.
equip a town guard.
Right? I mean, if you want payment, I don't have that much ready cash on me.
This was liberated, so it's not like we're looking for profit.
Oh, well. Fair enough.
We plan on making permanent residence here, so use this for the betterment of the town.
Well, thank you very much. I I certainly shall. And he sort of looks through them and he says, "There's some nice pieces here, actually. Yeah, nothing more than your sort of bog standard, but not the terrible quality I'd expect. So, yeah, this will come in nicely. Do you mind? Some of it I might have to melt down for other things. Is that all right?"
Do as you will.
Wow. Okay. Tell you what, I'm not one to let generosity go unrewarded. How about some of this stuff I should be able to sell? There's a passing tinker comes through, and he'll be here probably in the next 10 days. When he comes through, anything that I sell to him, I'll give you 20%. How about that?
Yeah.
And then I'll consider us even for that.
Fantastic.
All right, fantastic, excellent. And he holds out a beefy hand to shake each of you by the hand. Lovely. The deal is done. Nice one. All right. Well, if you don't mind, I'll have to start sorting through all this stuff. And yeah, it's welcome to Fandolin.
Thank you. We'll be in the Stonehill Inn if, for some reason, you need to speak with us.
Right, you are. So where to next? As you leave the smithy, you just sort of walking away. You just hear him mutter under his breath, "Bloody hell!" And then that's it.
Fantastic. Turns out he's the true villain, and we've just delivered him his arsenal.
No.
His army marches at dawn.
He is now.
I think the
Anyone
Okay.
have any other loose ends?
No, I'll be right back though. You can keep going.
I was gonna say I think the next event was a arrest.
Sounds good.
Okay, so back to the Stonehill Inn then, yeah?
Yep.
Right, and as you...
Brill does want to see about buying a few things, but I suppose I'd have to wait for Serenity to come back because it would have to be from the party pot.
I don't
Okay.
think it'll be a problem. You actually are also able to edit the loot tables, so like if there's something you need, totally. Let's stop, let's get it. Just make sure you edit it off the loot table.
I wasn't sure if we were
I mean,
gonna do that after rest.
Oh.
At this stage, we would probably be kind of late afternoon, early evening. So you probably still have a couple of hours before, you really feel the need for a rest. So you could still fit in a shopping
Shopping
trip.
is a light activity, yes.
Yes.
So we can theoretically start the rest process now, as long as we don't pick a fight or something.
That's fine. Yeah.
Are we gonna pick a fight though?
I mean, it's
Don't
not
think
in the
you have
cards,
many
but
more. I don't think you have many more people in town to pick a fight with. I think
we just go back to the Sleeping Giant and just beat on guys just for fun.
You very quickly come in and sort of magnificent sieving your way into the hearts and souls of the village.
So, Brill, if you've got some shopping, now's the time.
All right. I just want to pick up a few kits, a disguise kit, and some thieves' tools.
Okay, so for those, you would want to head up to Barthen's Provisions.
Okay.
And
So
as you enter, you go in and you see that it's not actually Barthen behind the till, behind the counter. It is his two assistants. And I am just trying to see if I make of their assistants' names. I'm sure I did, but I can't see them. So we will call them Huey and Dewey. Louis is on a break. And yeah, so you go in and Huey and Dewey are there. I will find their proper names, but that's what we'll call them just now. Hello again. Hello, what can I do for you?
Hello. Just if I could just have a few moments to look around the shop, and I'll let you know. I'll come to the counter with what I'm looking to buy, if that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff we keep behind the counter so that it doesn't.
All right. Well, I'll come behind the
doesn't
counter
get
and look then.
nicked.
Oh, that's fine. I'll come behind the counter and look.
Hang on. Roll a persuasion check for me. Holy shit. And they look at each other and they're like, obviously this has never happened before, that someone has just decided that they're going to come in and browse in the manner that they want to browse. And they look at each other and they're like, well, he's sort of looking at each other as if to say, well, he's been in already, he's bought stuff before, he's with the group that delivered it. Yeah, fuck it, let's just let him come behind the counter. So yeah, you can, why not? Crack on. Go behind the counter, and that's absolutely fine.
So it's all business. He gets back there and he just looks for what he needs for thieves' tools and what he needs for a disguise kit, and puts it on the counter if they're there.
A disguise kit.
Okay. So disguise kit is there, and that would cost you 25 gold. And a set of thieves' tools. Let me just find them. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. So there we go. And thieves' tools will also cost 25. Just a quick question: is Brill proficient either disguise kit or thieves' tools?
Yes, he's proficient in thieves' tools, and I'm also surprised about the disguise kit. I've got that, but he's got the urchin background, so that's where that comes from.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, so that's fine as long as you're happy that you're proficient with both. That's fine. So yeah, you bring them over to the counter, and they say, "We're really supposed to let Mr. Barthen know if anyone's buying these items because they're not really ever used for anything good."
But what do you mean? I'm an artist. I've got to use this for my art.
At which point they unwrap the thieves' tools, hold up the lock picks from inside, and say, "What sort of art involves these?"
Well, I've got fine painting supplies, and I've got it locked in a chest, but I've misplaced the key, so I need to unlock it, but I don't have the key anymore.
Roll a deception check with
Holy
advantage.
shit.
Give me 2 seconds. Okay. They look at each other again and shrug as if to say, you know, what are you going to do? Mr. Barthen's not here to make the final decision. So they say, "Do you promise that you're not going to do anything naughty?"
Well, I mean, as far as when you say naughty, I might break the regular conventions of what's considered beauty in the art world, but that's who can say if that's really bad.
Give the kids another 5 gold and let's get on with this.
Well, it's coming out of my purse.
They look at him and say, "Oh, yeah, that's fine." They obviously have no idea what you're talking about. The beauty standards of art. They don't know what you. They wouldn't know art if it jumped up and bit them on the arse. So yeah, right, fine, great. 50 gold, please.
All right, there you go. 50 gold. Thank you, chaps. Big smile.
Thank you. So I need to add disguise and thieves tools. Sheep. That's fine. Cool. Anything else?
Not from me.
Okay. So you head back to the Stonehill Inn. It's getting quite busy. A lot of the sort of farmers in the area, a lot of the miners are kind of starting to call it a day. Coming in, getting their meal, getting a few drinks, sharing stories from the day. Is there anything in particular you want to do? Or do you just want to head straight to your rest?
Regale Pip with stories of adventure.
So you look around and you don't see Pip. You
No,
do remember.
he went with his father, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah, so Pip and Toblin are not there. It is just Toblin's wife, Trilena, who is currently running things with the help of Barmaid. For some reason. But yeah, they both seem to be quite sort of run off their feet. And they give you a friendly smile as you come in, but that's, they don't really have time to stop and chat.
That's fair. Then I guess, well, that's it. That's all I had for flavor text. So bedtime it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
So
I'm gonna make a costume.
okay, what costume are you making, Brill?
I'm gonna take my commoner clothes and try and add like other bits of fabric to it to kind of make it look like Nothic.
What?
To make it look like Nothic.
Yeah.
Okay. So make a performance check for me for your disguise kit, and add your proficiency bonus.
And you've got me on that. So yeah, 14, but I'm not proficient in performance, so that would be an extra 2 on that, so it'd be 16.
Okay, cool, that's fine, because you're proficient with your disguise kit. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's a pretty reasonable approximation of the Nothic. It doesn't quite capture Nothic's dead-eyed stare or his unsettling method of walking. Obviously, it doesn't match his way of implanting voices in your head, but as a visual representation of Nothic, it's not bad.
Congrats.
So yeah, you'll be able to hear Brill while he's working away on it, going, "Oh, maybe someone can help me with the eye. If that kid hasn't got the point, I'll make sure he does."
Oh no.
Does Brill need help?
Are we talking in a general sense or in a psychological sense?
Like if where like is Brill? Sorry, I stepped away. If is Brill somewhere that Serenity can go be like, "Do you want some help with this project, buddy?"
Okay,
Yeah, you'll be able to see him.
we'll slightly roll that back then, and we would give the.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So we would give that roll with advantage. So that was a natural 20 for a total of 23, plus your proficiency would be a total of 25. So this Nothic now looks much, between the two of you, you've managed to get a much better a much better approximation.
Oh god.
I'd
So
say.
yeah, that would be quite good. So Brill will be saying to Serenity, be like, you see, we're paladins, so we've got to protect people. It's very important. And some people just do stupid things, and we've got to make sure they don't do
Yes.
stupid things.
No, I 100% agree with you. She's like, yeah, that makes perfect total sense in my tiefling mind.
Meanwhile, we're making this costume of this horrific monster.
So wait, are you building an effigy to scare people?
Yes, yes, he is.
It's a costume.
I think that claw is a
Put it
little
on.
longer.
You're actually going to wear this.
And he did it so well, he's not going to be able to leave without people trying to kill him, probably.
Yeah, so what actually happens when the local villagers rise up and beat you to death with rakes, hoes, and that assortment of arsenal we just gave them?
We're going to have to rewind time, get all the weapons back.
I hadn't thought it that far through, but I'm pretty good at hiding. I could probably hide.
But doesn't that defeat the purpose of wearing it if you're hiding it?
Well, it's just like it's just like a joke. You hide, and then you jump out from some barrels. They're scared, and then you run away.
Yeah, but they might like punch you in the face.
right in
Brill,
the eye.
a stiff breeze is gonna probably kill you.
Look, I'm just looking. I'm just looking to. Oh, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I don't need to. Okay, I'll
Yes,
test
we
I'll test the
we
water
will
out
see how it goes.
first, and we'll see.
Just this fantastic costume, and he's like, you know what? Never mind.
You have to use it now.
What
I'll
a
just
waste
keep it in
of
my
a natural
backpack.
20.
Yeah, just don't get rid of it.
Wait. Maybe what we can do is you can put on the Nothic costume and go back to the caves, and it will think it's another Nothic.
No, because it can
And
be
then-
in your brain.
Have little baby Nothers.
But yeah. Oh.
We just
We
need to
don't
go
know
back
what
and
they
get
do.
I've just got image of sort of like old Wile E. Coyote style, like it's just another Wile E. Coyote but in lipstick and with larger eyelashes.
Eyelash.
That's what the costume looks like.
Eyelash. Okay, anything else?
Brill, don't leave the hotel with that costume on and without letting somebody know, okay?
Please. In fact, you know what? Why don't you give the costume to us, and when you're ready to use it, you can ask.
You need
Well,
permission.
whoa. There's delicate maintenance that might need to be done on a piece such as this. It's probably best that skilled hands such as myself keep hold of it.
Please elucidate me as to what needs to be done.
Please tell me about your skilled hands.
Can somebody go down to Barthen's and see if they have a cowbell, maybe? Try it to Brill.
It's very technical. Very technical.
Okay. We all good? All ready for a long rest?
I think we're ready for a long rest.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to
So-
sleep now.
You're gonna wake up and he's gonna be leering over you with this Nothic costume.
Well, it's funny you say that, Ochi, because
Oh,
that
no.
night, as you all try to sleep,
Oh, Jesus.
you all have very unsettling dreams.
About Brill?
Well, Brill, as you fall asleep, talk of Rydoth earlier in the day takes your mind back to the forest and seems to unlock something. Your nightmares that night remind you of the resurrection process that you underwent to become the tiefling that you now are. You also see a flash of your old human image On the right hand, 2 tiefling fingers. You recognise the surrounding area. It's the area of Neverwinter that you used to frequent in the southeast section of the city. Serenity. In your dream, you know somehow that you are older. You're travelling on a road. You have a pack on your back and a weapon in your hand. You look up to your left and you see a young half-elf walking alongside you. You look up to the right and you see a young halfling of a similar age. You recognise them as Pip and Carp, the young boys from Vandalin, now grown and, it seems, under your tutelage as adventurers. You look left and Pip has vanished. You look right and Carp has vanished. You continue along the road, alone.
Oh,
Ochi,
no.
your dream takes you back to the sunlit plains of Karatur, from where you journeyed when you left your monastery to explore the world. A shadow falls over you from behind, the chill causing you no small discomfort. Turning around, you see a dragonborn you recognise as another monk from your order, the dragonborn known as Scorn. His expression is that of anger, and his mouth opens in a silent scream. His jaw grows ever wider as everything else is blocked from your vision. Then, it's black. Harrow. At first, your dream has no image, but it does have a sensation. Conflict. Then, a voice. A voice you had not heard for 6 years. The voice of the devil known as Dirge. You think you shall ever escape my grasp? You feel despair wrap around you like an old familiar cloak. Then, in the darkness, of light, and the light grows stronger. Conversely, the feeling of despair dissipates. Then another voice, no less imposing, no less awe-inspiring, yet this voice comforts. Begone, Dirge. You know he walks my path now. Suddenly, in front of you, appears your glaive. What do you do?
He's going to reach out and just kind of like just that one finger touch to verify realness.
Okay, so as soon as your dream form reaches out and touches with that one finger, you awaken, and your glaive is in your hand. But this feels different now. And as you concentrate, the glaive vanishes from your hand. And as you concentrate again, the glaive reappears in your hand. You are now attuned to your glaive.
Aw, yeah.
You wake up the next morning, all of you, and you're all feeling obviously perturbed by your dreams. I need all of you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Rough.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, bro. You did
Gotta
great.
carry us through the day.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise Brill had done his already. Okay, cool. So, fantastic. Iris, Serenity can't quite shake the feeling of discomfort that happened all night. And in fact, you realise that it really affected your sleep to the extent that for all of this coming day, you are suffering from one level of exhaustion.
Oh no.
So
What does that do?
any ability checks, pretty much any check you have to make, in fact, is at disadvantage.
Bruh.
We could just stay in the hotel for the whole day. It'll be alright.
Is there a bathhouse? Let's just hang out and soak, you guys. I need a self-care day.
Had a bad sleep
And
at this
that-
hotel. Rated 3 stars.
That is where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
So, back in 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Very good. Yep.
Brilliant. Thanks, everyone. That was fun. I enjoyed that bit.
I liked it a lot.
Okay, see you in 10. back.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Steve, have you actually moved your laundry?
Yes, yes. I could see it. It was bugging me. I was like, that hat that's on the laundry thing just looks like underwear. I'm moving that out the way. It's freaking me out.
It's not so bad. I during lockdown, like before our shop was reopening, our head office did a Zoom call for employees so they could see how sort of the shops had incorporated safety measures, you know, sort of one-way systems and sanitizing stations and all that. And it was only after I did the Zoom call that I realized my bed was in the background and clearly visible were the under mattress restraints.
Fantastic.
So
That's
so
but that's good. No, that's good. I like that.
so
It's strong.
a hat is that's small fry, my friend.
One day I wish to move into your league. I have to say
Well,
that is
if you
quite
work very hard at school.
Oh jeez. But I have to say, yeah, that's quite. How did you feel after you saw that? Were you not bothered so much, or were you like, oh shit?
I mean, there was like 1,000 people on the Zoom call. It was like a huge Zoom call, so the chances that anyone had actually seen it or registered what it was were
But
fairly
you
minimal.
knew it was there.
I knew it was there, and it was like, yeah. Sort of, none of my colleagues have messaged me to say, was that under your mattress? So I'm guessing I got away with it, but yeah, there was just that moment of, oh shit. Oh well.
Is there any part of you that maybe like a small percentage that might have thought or might still think, well, perhaps it would be funny if somebody did see.
Well, I guess at that point you
Oh
just have to
yeah,
accept it.
yeah. No, to be fair, probably not a small percentage. It's probably like, you know, if someone said anything, I'd be like, yeah, and just,
That's what I was fishing for. Because, like I said, some people can be like, "Oh, I'm terrified," but I think it's quite, yeah, I quite like it when something like that happens and somebody's like, "Yeah, you saw things.
yeah.
Good for you, pal."
Congratulations, because no one in the history of the world has ever used such things before. Anyway, are we still waiting on Iris coming back?
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay,
Multitasking.
multitasking. Awesome. So, um, you all wake up the next morning. Quick question, Serenity.
Yes.
Where did Droop sleep last night?
She would have probably set up like blankets at the bottom of her like bed or on the like wherever he was comfortable sleeping. She would have been like, "Here, you could stay here."
In the dresser drawer.
Okay.
That would actually be super cute.
Okay, that's awesome. I just realised that we kind of let Droop sort of vanish from the narrative there, but that's fine. Okay, so the next morning, you all descend to the sort of the main tavern, the main inn area, and there seems to be quite a bit of commotion, and lots of the villagers are crowded around Toblin's wife, Trilena. And Trilena, as you get closer, can see is in hysterics. Oh my god! Oh my god! This is what? Oh my! Oh no! Sildar is there, trying to comfort her. Halia is there, although seems to be kind of taking a slight step back, but is still there and seems concerned. In fact, pretty much everyone from the village is in this room. You've never seen this room so busy. And Sildar sees you coming down the stairs, comes up to you and discreetly, under his breath, says, There's been a bit of trouble. Right. At which Trilena comes rushing over, brandishing a sheet of parchment, and starts screaming at all of you, This is your fault! If you hadn't come to this village, this wouldn't have happened! And she throws this bit of parchment directly at Serenity.
So she catches it and she like looks at it and she's like already shook, like just like.
Okay. And on the parchment, it says, We have the boy. Come and get him. And it is signed with a black spider.
Well, Serenity marches back in and starts putting her armor on.
What did the note say?
She'll toss it back like on her way through the door so he can read it.
It doesn't say where.
It doesn't matter, we'll find out where!
So you want me to settle this woman down? Ochi, do you want to do it? I don't think I'm the right man for this job. Brill, you just stay right here, please.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. Go for it.
I'm
No,
sorry,
if
I-
you-
Feeling really relaxed today.
You-
I had a great night's sleep.
Okay, well, maybe then you should talk to her. I shouldn't talk to her. I'm the wrong man for the job.
I kind of missed what was going on here. I don't know what happened. What the note
We
say?
have a hysterical mother because Pip, and I'm assuming his father, have been abducted by this black spider fellow.
Let me just go back to my room and get prepared. And
You put that costume on, and we're
Bill's gonna
gonna
walk
have
away and he's
words.
gonna hide his costume. Stuff it deep under the bottom of his main backpack.
I guess I will explain to the mother that we will find her husband and her son and ask her to please have faith in us and we'll get it done as soon as possible.
And she looks at you with absolute hatred in her eyes. And she says, This would never have happened if you hadn't all come and started sticking your nose into other people's business. Who the hell do you think you are? Because of you, my son is in danger.
Ma'am, I think you're looking at this the wrong way. Considering this individual and the people that work for him were already in this town, this was inevitable. The difference is, this time you have us to help. Or
Roll a
would you
persuasion
rather your
check.
husband end up like the woodworker?
I'm so glad Serenity is getting dressed in her room right now!
Roll a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems to calm her down a bit. She starts to just take some deep breaths. Kayleen, who you met yesterday, Kayleen Alderleaf, the halfling woman, comes and sort of wraps her arm around Trilene and says, "Come on now, darling. Let's get you something hot to drink. Let's just try and get you calmed down a bit." And just as they're heading back to sort of the back area, you know, the kitchen, where the inn prepares the food, you hear a scream from outside.
Let's go investigate.
There's like a moment of shock of like, what? Let's go investigate.
Okay, so as
Predator!
you head out of the inn, a villager comes running down. A young half-elf girl, well, young woman, sort of looks to be, in human terms, about 15, 16, and she is visibly upset, unusually so for half-elves who tend to be fairly stoic. And she says, there's a body up on the trail, up towards up this way. She can hardly get her words out, and yeah, but seems to be a body further up.
Like Tribord Trail up?
So not as far as the tribal trail, but heading in that direction. You actually, from where you stood, you can see probably round about there is a mound just off the road, just next to that building. I mean, from here you can't see any detail, but
The girl has a
there
set
seems
of
to be
lungs.
I imagine seeing a dead body will probably give an extra bit of oomph to your screaming.
Let's go investigate.
I
Oh, just real quick.
Okay.
After the long rest, does that change anything on our character sheets?
So you will get your key points back. You would also regain hit dice, any hit dice up to your maximum. It's half of your maximum to regain, which would be 1.5, because it's half of your level. So that would be rounded up to 2. So if you could, depending on how many hit dice you already had, you can regain up to 2 more to take you no higher than your maximum hit dice, which is 3, because you're level 3.
Understood. And our current hit
My
points stay the
hit
same.
points.
Sorry, Ray, say that again.
Oh, I think I just asked the same thing that Serenity. Our hit points stay the same.
Hit points go back to full. Yes, because
Thank you,
Serenity was rather weak there. Yeah, so yeah, your hit points all go back to full.
I will cast False Life.
You do amaze
Speaking
me,
of
sir.
2 hit points.
I will dash up to the body.
Okay. And
Trinity's like stumbling behind them because it takes a long time to put armor on by yourself.
she's sort of like hopping along one foot in a boot as she goes, trying to get gauntlets on, and yeah. Okay, so Brill, if you get there first, you
Can I race him?
recognize. Yeah, you absolutely can.
Come on,
Brill,
Brill.
do you both have the same speed, or what's your speed, Brill?
Ochi's a monk. No, we're not going to have the same
Yeah.
speed.
I was going to say Ochi will be 40 feet. So Ochi,
Actually,
deciding at this point of when you've just been told there's a body, deciding to turn it into a game, deciding to make a race of it, Ochi does arrive slightly ahead of Brill. Not much, because there's not much difference in it.
Brill has like a little
and
anime monologue. Wow, he must be taking this so seriously. I can never compete with a guy who has that much passion to save lives.
yeah.
That's not
That's
possible. How?
Yeah, impossible.
I run past
As a
Brill and I say,
small-
"On your right."
It's a small
On your
dusty
right?
cloud. Oh, you're right.
Oh.
A small dust of cloud, a cloud of dust even appears at Ochi's heels as he runs past, and Brill stops for a second, spluttering in that sort of very anime way. That did not look like spluttering on camera there. That looks like something entirely different. Apologies.
Can't breathe either
Apologies
way.
all. Yeah. So yeah, Ochi gets there first, and you do recognise the body.
No.
It is Toblin Stonehill. The ink.
And he's sleeping, right?
Make
He's
a medicine
knocked
check for me.
unconscious by spider venom, please.
Okay, Ochi, were you doing a medicine check as well?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay, so you can tell that he is not just sleeping. He is not having a nice little. He is in fact dead. And with that roll as well, you would be able to tell that he has been dead probably about 20 hours.
20 hours?
Yep.
So pretty much right about when they left.
Thinking of the timings, it would actually be before.
Back.
I guess I will.
At this point,
Fuck.
sorry, go on, Ray.
If I may, I will inspect the body, see if there's any clues.
Okay, roll an investigation check for me, please.
This is not going to be pretty. Not too bad.
Okay, so you don't find anything. Sort of, there's nothing grasped in his fists or anything. You know, a bolt of cloth from the killer's garments, nothing like that. He has been slashed across the throat, so it was a pretty quick.
Okay, but can I try lay on handsing him for 1 hit point?
You can try.
Isn't that a necromancer?
Civic-minded necromancer.
So lay on hands does absolutely nothing.
He didn't write his killer's name in the dirt.
You look around and with an investigation of 14, you see some scuffling in the dirt that looks like it might be but apart from that, you don't see anything. There's nothing. There's nothing there that he's done. His throat has been slashed, and he's been left.
Wait, so what you're saying is that he, in his death throes, took the time to write as he died?
I'm so glad someone got the reference.
Maybe he was dictating.
You do actually quickly. Harrow, can you roll a nature check for me, please?
A nature check?
Mm-hmm.
From Harrow?
Yes, please.
Let's go, wood boy.
No!
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
you do not see any small, cute white rabbits in the vicinity.
And then I just promptly die.
So, as you are all examining the body and examining the area, the crowd starts to stream up the path towards where you all are.
Oh, that woman from
And-
earlier is not going to be happy.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is
Oh
the
shit.
understatement of the year. She pushes her way to the front of the crowd and sees her now deceased husband laid on the ground, crumpled on the floor, and she herself collapses to her knees, floods of tears, sobbing, lost her husband, doesn't know where her son is. She's all alone in the world.
But her son could still be alive. She has to look on the bright side of this.
Do not say that out loud.
Sorry about the monk, ma'am.
All the goodwill that you guys built up yesterday, gone with
Just
one sentence.
gone.
Bro, you still got that costume, right?
Let's just take things easy. Brill's gonna look out to this crowd because he wants to see if they are planning on doing anything to our group.
Roll
when
That's
does-
really fair.
roll an insight check for me, please. They seem to be not openly aggressive yet, but you can definitely feel a growing resentment in the air. And you probably think that it's only because they are essentially villagers, farmers, and you have all proven yourself to be fairly handy as fighters and adventurers that they're not willing to try to take you on yet. But you do feel that they're possibly, you're not their favourite individuals at the
Look, I'm so sorry this has happened. We'll find him. We'll find your son, and we will get him back. We they've left a calling card. We know who it is. We're on their trail. We'll get them. Don't worry.
roll persuasion.
Paul is just all laid back in his chair. Roll persuasion.
Okay. They don't seem particularly mollified by Brill's words, as sincerely meant as they are. Feels like possibly there's just too much strong. Sildar, at this point, shoulders his way through the crowd, approaches you, and says, "Is there anything that you've found? Any clues as to what's happened?"
Not a strong enough one to figure out where the black spider is.
Right, I see. So, what's the plan?
Aren't there ways to resurrect people? I'm asking out of game as a cleric.
There are, but I don't think you are sufficiently powerful yet. I think a level 3 cleric would struggle. Let's have a look.
I just want to know about the possibility. Like, Serenity has tons of gold and is willing to fucking pay somebody.
Come raise our dead friend.
Okay,
Is that something you voice an interest in amongst the group?
Yeah.
BRB.
So I think you could. I would need to look into it more specifically. I know there are spells that clerics can do.
That's okay. So Serenity is like fucking, like, Brill has been dealing with the crowds because Serenity's like fucking distraught and doesn't know what to do. And she like looks up and she's like, what about the guy? What about the person? What about the druid in Thunder Tree? Like, maybe he can do something with this. Maybe we can pay him Like she's like looking up at the group, like, please help me. How do we fix this?
Okay. So can everyone please roll Arcana checks for? And don't
Well,
forget,
I'm-
Serenity, yours will be at disadvantage because you are suffering from a level of exhaustion.
Oh, that's right. Nine.
9, 7. Okay, so you know that there probably will be spells that druids could do to bring someone back. You're not sure what those spells are. Obviously, Brill, although you've spent time with the druids, you haven't exactly followed that route, being a paladin rather than a druid yourself. The other thing that you're not sure of with that is time frames. A lot of resurrection magic has to be done fairly quickly after the death has occurred. There are obviously some exceptions to that, given the way that Brill was brought back, but there will probably be pretty severe limitations on what can be done.
She's willing to try and at least put it forward as an option.
We can put him in
Okay.
our plague wagon and drag him up there.
The other thing, just to, which you would know anyway, I won't even make you roll for it. When you were in the Tressender Manor, and you were told by the woodworker's wife about Thunder Tree, and she told you where it was, you do know it's quite some distance away. It's a good few days' travel. It's fairly close to Neverwinter. It did take you a few days to get from Neverwinter to Phandalin. So, again, even if Rydoth is in Thunder Tree, you wouldn't get to him for days. So you can certainly try, but that is going to add time to the whole process as well.
Okay.
Is Droop with you at the moment?
I assume he stayed in the hotel unless he followed, like, half-dressing Serenity out.
Okay, that's fine. I will kind of let you determine where Droop goes and what Droop does.
Is Droop a cleric?
I will put it.
What level druid is Droop?
0.
Yeah, Droop is actually 9th level druid.
That's exactly what we need.
Serenity, why are you not asking me before? I do all resurrection magic. No. Yeah, no, Droop
Brilliant.
is...
That's my
It's his
specialty.
shoes.
It's the secret unlocked NPC solution to this.
Sorry. Yeah, no, Droop is just a goblin, sadly. No abilities that...
Well, I think we're going to have to hold off on resin this gentleman until we find lady's child before they run us out of town.
All right, is the angry mob still here?
Brill's
They're
entertaining him.
here. Brill has kind of been keeping them at bay with his sweet, sweet words.
And a puppet show.
And a puppet show.
Oh
Wow.
God!
No puppet show. I don't have any puppets.
So
There's
the
a corpse on the ground.
Oh
No. No.
Like I said, we are determined to solve the situation. We will get your son back.
And there was me thinking that Serenity was the living embodiment of a paladin. And she's talking about using corpses as glove puppets.
After traveling with this
And
group,
we're finding solutions.
I'm not sure what paladins are supposed to be anymore.
So yeah, to answer your question, Harold, the crowd are there. They're sort of milling around. They don't really know what to do, but they sort of... There's a few people kind of rubbernecking, trying to see what's happening. Some others are just being nosy. Some are chatting amongst themselves. You are comforting Trilena. Pretty much the whole village is here in one respect.
What do you want us to do with the body? Just a general addressing.
Nothing.
You just want it to stay here in the sun?
Quick question, Archie, did you say nothing out loud?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I thought he said nothing.
I'm pretty sure he said nothing, and I'm pretty sure he said that in character.
Oh, the misery.
I'm not a smart monk.
Tree like darkly levels her gaze at Ochi and is like, no.
A few of the villagers within earshot. I'm going to be generous and assume that you said nothing fairly quietly. And a few of villagers at the front kind of look amongst themselves like, did he... What's a nothing?
No, you
Nothing? Do you want us to do nothing with the body? Yeah.
Yes, nothing. Sorry.
And that's fine. And Trilena is still in floods of tears, but Kayleen Alderley comes up and says, "I think it's best if we give him a proper send off.
I agree.
I think that's what would be best for him." And that Sister Garielle comes up, and she says, "If you wish, I can say a few words on behalf of Lady Timor to send him luck and fortune on his journey this place."
Yes, please.
Okay, so how are you moving the corpse? Are you doing anything else before you move it?
We can get the plague wagon and drag him to wherever he needs. I don't see a cemetery on the map.
Oh my god.
Serenity will fucking wedding carry this guy.
Okay, that's fine. There isn't... Well, there would be. It's not marked on here, but there would be a small cemetery somewhere in town. Probably somewhere off back, I imagine.
Oh, it looks peaceful over there. It's
Not
got
that
a
I
river.
didn't want us walking on the town green.
Oh, sorry, I was getting a couple of voices there. Ray, go first.
I was just noticing that it would look peaceful with that little river. That's a nice place for a cemetery.
Morpheus?
Oh, I had said that that's why they won't let us walk on the town green.
You're one sick puppy. Okay, so they let Serenity lifts Toblin's body, and Kayleen says, "I think for now it'd be best if we take him down to the town master's hall, and we can make sure he's prepared properly there, and given the appropriate rites and privileges."
So be it.
So, Serenity wedding carries Toblin's corpse back down the main thoroughfare, and the whole village puts aside their animosity for 1 minute and follows behind in a sort of impromptu funeral procession. And as you reach the Townmaster's Hall, Harbin is there at the door. And there's none of his usual bluster. There's none of his usual arrogance or pomposity. And he stands there and he removes a small hat that he has on top of his head and just bows his head as Serenity carries Toblin into the hall and lays him gently on the table that's just inside. At that, Sildar has again come up to you and says, I reckon you have less than a week before this village turns ugly. You need to find the boy wherever he is. Do you have any idea where the Black Spider?
It seems though he is involved with some of our other threads. Spider indicates webs. Perhaps if we pursue this mysterious castle, we'll find our Black Spider as well. We might also find this Glassstaff fellow of the Red Brands.
Is out there somewhere. And it's possible, like you say, it's possible that their paths will have converged at some point. Do you have any leads on finding the castle yet?
We do not.
I thought Droop pointed us somewhere in the general vicinity.
We have an idea of the area it's in.
So yes, as a recap, Droop did say it was somewhere not too far from Cragmore Hideout, which was the caves from the second session, the cave network. It's not too far from there, it's somewhere in that rough vicinity, but you didn't get.
So, somewhere in the Neverwinter Woods is the best we know. We're going to go shake down some goblins, hopefully, to find where we need to be.
Yeah, sounds like. I think we lost him.
So long.
We broke him.
I'll promise I'll be a better paladin. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're a
Come back. I'm sorry.
You're a fine paladin.
Sorry everyone, I froze there. So yeah, the last thing that I said, I don't know if you heard because I think I froze out, was that Droop told you that Cragmaw Castle was somewhere in the vicinity of the Cragmaw Hideout, the cave network. Be more specific than that, but somewhere close to it.
Oh, sounds like we're going back to the Cragmaw area and seeing what we find.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do in Fandolin, or anyone you want to speak to?
I think we've done enough damage here.
Yeah, we might want to just lay low for the moment.
We're gonna leave town for a couple of days. We'll be right back. We're gonna go figure something out.
So we're sort of, by the time this has all happened, we're, let's say, mid-morning. You will be able to get, probably by the end of today, probably get, I would say, about take. So not quite far enough to get back to the hideout. Could camp overnight and make the rest of the journey the next day to the hideout, but bear in mind you know exactly where. You just know it's somewhere in rough area. You think it will be probably in Neverwood somewhere. So it's which way, if you guys want to ping on the map, sort of collectively which direction you think to head, and we can work out timings from that.
I think Harrow's already pinging something.
So roundabout there, Harrow.
Yeah, I mean it's a good place to start if we're just going from Cragmaw and drawing a straight line into the Neverwinter Woods or Neverwood. Yeah, Neverwinter Woods.
Sounds good.
Okay. So let's see.
Keep an eye out for goblin patrols and stuff.
Okay, so you don't see anything much during the day. The roads all seem to be pretty quiet. There aren't any sort of travelling. You were told previously that there were travelling bands of goblins sometimes, or raiding parties. You don't see any of those. Can everyone? Who's leading the party?
Brill seems most at home in nature. What do you think, Brill?
Voluntold.
I mean, I'm more familiar with the gods of nature. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, nature itself is. I mean, I'm okay. Yeah, I can tell trees and shrubs apart.
That was so reassuring, Brill.
I grew up in a city.
I'll take point.
Right. Sounds good.
Okay, so Ochi, if you, let's say by early afternoon, you want to kind of make sure you're heading roughly in this right direction, could you make a survival check, please?
Yes.
Okay, so you lose the path slightly from where you were aiming for. So let's say it veers you off slightly. Let's say at this point it's led you to about there. And then if we could have another survival check for, let's say, sort of late.
Which I can't blame some of them.
Ready?
Some of them
Yeah, ready when you are, sir. Okay, 14. So you get it back slightly. So let's say by nightfall, roughly. We want to see that ping.
Alright, did we want to switch out at nightfall? Because if not, I'm going to have to spend for night vision.
We might as well bunk down for the night. Unless everybody's feeling particularly like we need to get there right this minute. In that case, we can press on. I'll take point.
I'm still exhausted, so I slept pretty rough, you guys. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I'm tough. Like, if you want to keep going, I'll keep going. Don't let me hold you back.
It won't do us any good if we arrive at our destination exhausted, frayed, and incapable of fighting if need be.
And at disadvantage.
I mean, where you are, it's kind of just, yeah, probably just before the sort of the main entrance to the woods, sort of before you get to the main tree line. You look around, you do find a nice little sort of alcove area where you could make camp quite comfortable for the.
We'll make camp.
How are you wanting to do sentry duty? watch. Does anyone want to keep watch? Do you want to take shift? Do you want to just sleep through the night or try to sleep through the night?
Let's try to get Serenity to at least have a good night's sleep, and it'll be up to us three to decide from there.
I am more than
Okay.
willing to take the middle shift, as awful as that may be.
Serenity is like, no, you guys, I can totally help if you want, like, while she's, like, setting up her pillow.
Bill's putting up a tent around you.
What a sweetheart.
I guess I could take first watch.
So now, from memory, watch and long rest, you only have 2 hours sort of non-resting. So you have to rest for 6 hours. You have to be resting for 6 hours total. If 3 of you are keeping watch, that means there's going to be a 2-hour period where there's no watch.
We'll just wing it.
I can pull a longer watch.
I think the danger is with that you don't get your full. Get your full long rest. Let me just quickly check something.
I don't need a long rest.
I'm gonna say I don't think we've expended anything.
That's a very. You then exhausted next day. Just quickly check something, guys. I'm expecting you to go. So that's what we were saying about railroading earlier. It doesn't always happen. Okay, so what I would do, you weren't taking a long rest. I understand you don't need it for regaining anything, but what I would probably do is if you're taking a longer watch, Harrow, is once it comes to morning, I would ask you to make a con save to see if it's caught up. If it hasn't, if you fail that con save, you will then have exhaustion.
Worth the risk.
All right, I could take the longer watch. I think I've got a decent constitution. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm easy either way. I just look at it basically the darkest part of the night. I have the best vision.
Oh yeah, there is that too. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Is Brill enlisting the help of a squirrel? Oh.
I was gonna plan on, but yeah, we need to sort out the whole resting thing first.
Okay.
Ochi should be one of the people who gets a full night's rest because he rolls skills so often. Like,
Yeah, he kind of carries us with a lot of the combat too.
I wouldn't go that far.
We will, because you do.
you can be modest. We will boast for you and for Brill. Like, we're here to hype you up.
Brill's just here for the sleep.
Yeah, I'll take the longer watch and make the con check.
Okay. So who's going first then?
I think I had first
So
watch.
we'll have okay. So first watch for Ochi, and then Harrow in the middle, and then Brill for the last portion.
I'm happy with that.
Can Brill
I do
actually?
want to.
Can Brill actually like just speak with animals? Tell a squirrel to keep an eye out for him, and he'll just sleep anyway. Hey, squirrel, come wake me up if you see anything.
What? Well, let's perhaps we should give it a go.
So, I will just draw your attention to you might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favour for you at the DM's discretion. That would probably be quite a large favour, asking a squirrel to stay watch and wake you up if it saw anything.
But Brill's still gonna try and find some local animals to talk to, though, but for a different matter.
Okay. So we will get to that. Do you want to do that before you all hunker down, or do you want to do that during your watch?
No, definitely before, because I'd like to regain the spell slot from having the long rest.
Sure. Okay. So before, as Harrow and Ochi start kind of making preparations, at this stage, Serenity is already flat out, snoring peacefully on her bedroll. What would you like to do?
So I'd like to find any sort of local animal and ask them if they know of Rydoth or if they know of any druids in the area.
Okay.
Oh.
So just check something. Yeah. So you do spot a squirrel from one of the branches above you, and you persuade it quite easily to come down. And squirrel comes up and sits on your shoulder. Says, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Well, I was glad you asked. My name's Brill, and I was wondering if you know any druids nearby.
What's a druid?
This will be something with 2 legs, standing upright, 2 arms, and, well, helps you and your friends.
Oh, not round here. There's there is one who has his nest a few days north.
Okay. Um, do you go that far, or do you have any friends that live that far away?
I can go that far. I don't often go that far. But I've heard from some of my friends that he sometimes becomes a squirrel. He becomes one of us. And he
That
sometimes
sounds like a
brings us
druid.
he sometimes brings us nuts.
Ah. You know, if I, and Brill reaches into his pack, were to give you some nuts, would you go and find this, well, this person?
It's a bit far. I can, but it might take a long time.
Um, okay. You know what? That's fine. Don't, it'll be okay. What was your name, by the way?
My name is my
You
name
jerk.
you twat. My name is Kivan.
Wonderful. Well,
Fuck
like I
you,
s-
Steve. Hang on. Names for squirrels. You
I
absolute.
didn't realize. I just felt like I was being rude because I just met him and they gave him my name. I didn't ask for his.
You absolute.
Listen, I'm
prick.
British and I've got to be polite, even if it's a little animal.
My name is Chippy.
Excellent. Well, Chippy, if I see you around, I'll I'll look out for you. Okay.
Alright, okay. It was nice talking to you.
That's a good squirrel name.
You too, Chip. Good night.
Chippy.
You
There's a
too,
Y on
Chippy.
the end.
Good night,
There's a Y on the end.
Chippy. Not an I and an E. Just a Y.
Just a Y.
Just a Y. Okay. And is that with two P's in the middle or just the one P?
Of course it
Jesus
is.
Christ.
And it's not like shippy. It's like a CH, SH or anything like that.
It's got a PH in it, but it's silent.
Are you taking the piss?
You didn't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
ask
I
him
am.
maybe if he knows where the
I am
castle
actually
is.
now.
Last time I helped a bloody thief.
Wow, whatever. Here you go. Here's some nuts.
Here's my nuts.
To you too, mate.
Hey, nice.
And with that, Chippy the squirrel gathers up the discarded nuts and scampers back up into their tree.
Right, guys. Just be careful. I might have pissed off all of the local squirrels.
You didn't want to ask him maybe if he knew where the castle was.
Oh, fuck.
Just a thought,
I was really hoping you were going to go there and be like, I bet you the local wildlife knows where a giant castle structure might be. Nope.
It's not on Brill's mind at the moment.
Okay.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
So, night falls. There is a small campfire which is built just to keep a bit of warmth, and it's not a large fire, nothing that would attract attention in itself. It's down to glowing embers, and
nothing to report on watch except for aggravated squirrels.
So yeah, so if we're doing your watch, Ochi, perception check, please.
We're in the woods.
Yeah. You see some trees. That small amount of warmth from the campfire is making you sort of drowsy.
Who put me on watch
And
with a roll like that?
You kind of doze off a bit, and you awake with a start, and you realise that it's now the end of your watch, and nothing has happened.
Woo! Thank you.
Yeah. So you wake up, Harrow.
What is that? What? 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 What?
It's your turn to
Why are you whispering now? Get away from me! Stop being so weird!
I poke him with a stick. Harrow!
Roll to
I'm
attack.
awake already! Stop poking me with a stick!
Yeah, no, don't roll to attack. That would be because we've all seen how much damage you do with your quarterstaff.
Harrow! Watch out for the squirrels. They're agitated.
What did Brill do to the squirrels? Oh, Brill's asleep. Go poke him with a stick. Get some rest. I'm fine. I'm gonna put some more wood on the fire, make it a little bigger.
Okay, good night.
Okay, Harrow.
I cast False Life.
Can you please? Can you cast? Can you roll perception for me, please?
No, I can't roll perception for you.
Okay.
There are still trees.
There are angry squirrels, is what I see.
There could be a monster in the middle of camp.
We're
We
so
wouldn't be able to
fucking
see it.
angry.
You, as with Ochi, and even more so now that you've kind of put some more wood on the fire, flames are a bit higher, you're quite comforted by your close proximity to the flames. It stirs something within you, some part of your tiefling heritage that finds comfort. And you two start to feel drowsy. And you start to
Don't fall asleep, bro. Don't fall asleep. You got this, buddy. You got this. Don't fall asleep. Cast false life. Fall asleep.
he mutters to himself as he's falling asleep. And suddenly, you hear an arrow fly through the air and land just next to where you're sat. And it wakes you up. And I'm going to give everyone initiative.
Is it just the squirrels again?
Oh, sorry, I'll need to bring your tokens over. Hang on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, the squirrels are armed, absolutely. Do you still have Droop with you, correct?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Go for the sacrifice play.
Wow, no.
What's happening? Why is it not? 2 seconds.
And am I right in believing that most of our ACs are going to be a little bit different than they usually are?
Indeed, and thank you for mentioning that.
Why would you say such a thing?
Considered.
Because the monk doesn't have to worry about it.
Because Ochi is absolutely fine because you don't wear armor anyway. But yes, indeed. Assuming none of you sleep in your armor, which would be very so. Possibly, I would let Harrow have his armor since he was keeping watch, so he could conceivably have put his armor on, expecting.
Yeah, I'd assume if I was on watch specifically to, get murdered, I'd put my armor on.
That's fair enough. But yes, Serenity and Brill will not have their armor.
Thank goodness
so
for shields.
Let's see. So
Serenity just pulls her shield over her like a blanket.
go back to sleep. And then let's see. Would Droop have his own bedroll?
Yeah, like a little droop bedroll. Yeah, that seems
Droop
reasonable.
bedroll. Okay, so what I'm thinking we might actually do
Does Droop have a weapon?
is so Droop does not have a weapon. We can retcon to giving him a short sword from earlier if you want.
I'd give the little dude a crossbow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Range.
Oh,
Okay.
I've got a light crossbow you can have.
As do I. He's just going to dual wield them.
Droop's going down, motherfuckers!
Yes.
However, what I think we will do is rather than getting into combat now, leave it there for tonight, and then we'll pick this up next week, if that works for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's.
Actually, sorry. Next week I might be meeting Jodie's mum.
Dun dun dun!
Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I can't remember what day we said. Yes. Yes. So next weekend, I could possibly do Sunday evening. I know you have another game on Sunday, Steve.
Yeah.
So Saturday will be out, unfortunately.
Understood.
But we can do Sunday an hour later if that works with Steve, or we can do 2 weeks.
I'm easy for what?
Check if we can do the whole usual delay thing.
Okay, I mean, don't cut your other game short for us. As
7 hours later.
as touching as it is, obviously I don't want you to be cutting short another game. So if that's what's happening, we can leave the Sunday thing and just fit in on Saturdays that work.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll see. There's no harm in asking.
Yep.
You guys are our favorite too, though.
Totes.
What was that? The yeah, all the love.
Yeah.
God, you
Oh, no,
bunch of glorious
that's,
nerds.
That's a different thing entirely. So theoretically next Sunday, if I missed what I don't want to know.
Steve, you got a dab for us.
What?
You got, you got a
Come
dab
on,
for
Steve,
us.
you can do it. Go on.
Just turn off the camera.
If you do it slow, I'm just gonna make you do it again.
Your opinion makes it better.
How? Somebody show me. I don't know. Oh, okay.
Hang on, how do I screenshot? Quick,
Oh
how do I
my gosh,
screenshot?
the
How do I screenshot?
Europeans.
Also, can I just say, Steve, with your one picture that's like a Sasquatch blurry reflection that you sent us, I was expecting you to be like horribly disfigured and not actually handsome.
Like
So
acid.
What's
I
the...
like playing Dungeons and Dragons online because no one has to see me.
I am a real man.
Ignore the foils.
I am a human being.
What kind of animal you got in the background?
When you got real life monster stats.
Cool.
All right,
So
hooligans.
Hooligans. Wow. Is that our group name? We are
Yes.
the hooligans.
Yeah,
we are the
we're
hooligans.
we're the grateful D&D hooligans.
Wonderful. I mean, you could all theoretically be the Fandolin 4.
Yeah, that sounds good too.
But then Jody could never join us if she felt, oh no, Fandolin 5 works, never mind, carry on.
Fandolin 5 works as well. Cool. So if we say theoretically, possibly next Sunday evening, as long as it doesn't cut your other game short, Steve, just let us know.
Okay,
and
yeah.
otherwise we'll aim for 2 weeks tonight.
Sounds good?
Awesome. Thank you so much, folks. Anyone's got any questions or queries or anything, just send me a message.
Okay, bye.
Later,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Hey!